Aduh, kita dalam studio, dia tepi pantai pula. Ditiup angin bayu Laut Cina Selatan. Lili Hamzah dari Kuala Terengganu, silakan.
Ganu kita lah tiba menyanyi. Okey, kita boleh katakan konsep perlumbaan peringkat keempat ini adalah home ground, ibarat perlumbaan di halaman sendiri. Nama-nama seperti Harif Saleh dan Wan Abdul Rahman dari Terengganu Cycling Team. Selain Kezayi mewakili pasukan kebangsaan, pastinya mau menyelah di jalan kampung halaman sendiri. Turut tidak ketinggalan Syazri Nawang dan Zulkifli Zulfikri daripada pasukan Malaysia Pro Cycling yang juga menaruh harapan tinggi untuk sekurang-kurangnya menggegar kelompok hadapan. Rata-rata mereka meletakkan peringkat keempat ini sebagai sasaran terbaik untuk menghadiahkan sesuatu buat penyokong tempatan. Bagaimanapun, tiada jalan mudah buat barisan pelumba negara kerana saingan turut dibayari sejago antarabangsa. Juara berganda musim ini, Matteo Malusali bersama pelumba berbahaya seperti Arvid Declan ataupun legenda seperti Alexander Kristoff yang sudah mula menunjuk taring, yang sudah mempamerkan prestasi cemerlang mereka. Segala debaran aksi menarik boleh diikuti secara langsung di saluran Astro Arena selain platform YouTube Majlis Sukan Negara dan juga PETRONAS LTDL 2025. Jangan lupa berikan sokongan anda dengan #BeatTheHit.
Terima kasih Lili Hamzah di Pantai Batu Borok. Mesti dah kena nasi dagang di atas tol. Sedap betul. Okey, tak apa. Kita rehat seketika. Jangan ke mana-mana. Perbincangan kita selepas ni. Pesanan 4 penjuru untuk menuju ke penamat peringkat yang keempat.
PETRONAS guna settle 3 kali mata ganjaran. Senangnya, ini baru Mercer Rewards.
From the first pedal stroke to the final sprint, fueled by Bubbles O2, Malaysia's only naturally oxygenated mineral water.
Tebus macam-macam dan tebus minyak di PETRONAS. Senangnya, ini baru Mercer Rewards.
Alright, Lily dah selamat tiba di Pasir Putih, Kelantan dan kini berada di depan booth PACE. Kalau dah ada dekat depan booth PACE, of course kita bersama dengan Executive Director of PACE sendiri, Mr. Teo Chia Chun. How are you? Jumpa lagi tahun ni.
Ya, jumpa lagi Lily. Last year masih ingat kami jumpa dekat Cameron Highland.
Okey.
14 tahun.
Ya, okey. Mr. Teo, mungkin boleh kongsikanlah for this year kan, sekali lagi apa yang mendorong PACE untuk sponsor PETRONAS LTDL Langkawi 2025?
Okey. Ini merupakan tahun yang ketiga kami bersama dengan pihak organizer, dan thank you kepada pihak organizer, iaitu MSN yang bagi peluang dan kepercayaan kepada company kami local brand for the sport. So itu yang salah satu reason mendorong kami, sebab ini pun kami LTDL merupakan edisi ke-29. So merupakan international event yang begitu berprestij. Itu yang peluang kami. Ya.
Okay. Alright, Mr. Teo, mungkin boleh kongsikan jugalah daripada, kan dah 3 tahun macam you mention tadi, apa perbezaan dia sehingga tahun ini?
Perbezaan semakin hangat. Cuaca pun hangat, suasana pun hangat, sama dengan peminat-peminat tempatan juga. Itu yang nampak ini event semakin dapat sambutan daripada lokal dan international turis maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Selari dengan #BeatTheHit. Okey, untuk tahun ini mungkin Mr. Teo boleh kongsikan juga apa jenis produk yang dikeluarkan, apa kelainan, mungkin inspirasi design tu dapat daripada manakah?
Okay, so tahun ini kami punya official merchandise. So semua wujud daripada proudly by all the Malaysian. Termasuk thank you kepada tim I, designer team, R&D team yang begitu bertunggu lumus untuk menghasilkan produk dan design yang sesuai dengan LTDL ini. Ya.
Okay, so Lily pun dah tak sabar nak check it out apa yang terbaru dekat booth PACE, sebab Mr. Teo kata dia nak belanja. So let's go.
Untunglah.
Untung bang.
Dapat baju. Banyak baju. Okey, tapi PACE, baju yang dikeluarkan oleh PACE untuk PETRONAS LTDL Langkawi memang kualitinya sangat baik. Jadi anda boleh dapatkan t-shirt rasmi PETRONAS LTDL Langkawi di booth pace kat mana saja dia berada. Jangan minta dengan saya tak bekalkan baju. Okey. Baik. Baik adik. Kita nak cerita tentang ini Terengganu, bermula di Terengganu. Pasukan Terengganu Cycling Team. Pasukan TSD. Ini dia kira macam orang kata backyard TSD lah. Ni kampung halaman mereka kan. Kalau semalam untuk stage tim Asia terbaik TSD nombor 6 semalam. Tapi hari ini digelanggang sendiri ni. Apa yang kita harapkan untuk mereka?
Baik, sudah pasti hari ini peringkat keempat daripada Kuala Terengganu ke Kemaman. Akbar juga ambil maklum bahawa Kuala Terengganu ni adalah orang cakap survey course. Survey course ni bermaksud tempat center untuk rider-rider pasukan TSG ni berkumpul, antaranya even pelomba-pelomba foreigner mereka pun akan berkampung di TSG untuk melakukan training camp ataupun sebagainya. Jadi sudah pasti hari ini home ground, hometown punya race peringkat keempat ni berakhir di Kemaman, di Cukai Kemaman. Sudah pasti pasukan-pasukan antaranya Haris Saleh dan juga Wan Abdul Rahman Acik. Hari ini sudah pasti dia akan membuat sesuatu. Saya rasa Aiman Rosli kemungkinan besar dia akan membuat pemecahan seperti biasa, membuat breakaway, membuat pemecahan awal, dan Acik dan juga Harif sudah pasti kedua-dua pelomba ini akan memastikan mereka berada di kedudukan yang terbaik sebelum membuat pecutan. Kerana jika kita lihat di finishing di Cukai nanti Akbar, memang jalan dia semalam kita lihat ada satu sharp corner, tapi hari ini dia bertukar. Memang ada very technical punya jalan sebelum finish, nak sampai ke finishing. Ada dua sharp corner ke kanan dan juga ke kiri sebelum lebih kurang dalam 700 meter sebelum mereka membuat pecutan lurus nanti Akbar. Okey,
kalau kita masih ingat tahun 2010 LTDL tahun 2010, 15 tahun yang lalu, Harif Saleh daripada Kuala Terengganu ke Cukai pada ketika itu, adik Usaini pun berlumba nombor 9 masa itu.
Masa tu kampung
saya
sendiri nombor 9.
Arif Saleh top 5 kan masa tu.
Harif Saleh pun ada berada
tahun 2010 daripada Kemaman, daripada Kuala Terengganu ke Cukai. Tapi tahun ni macam mana? Jadi kita ikuti temu bual bersama dengan Harif Saleh.
Yesterday was the hardest stage for you. It was difficult for you to make the time cut. Can you explain how difficult it was in the first climbs and how you managed?
Yesterday, I think for me very tough race. Also, like I just fall rider in the behind, but I still keep working and keep pushing untuk for the finish line. And then we see the result. I can stay race, and then I feel happy.
And you are happy to be here today, hometown, Kuala Terengganu, lots of fans. What do you want to say to the fans? Do you want to thank them for the support for all those years?
Thank you to all the fans from Terengganu. Many people come to support Langkawi, not the Terengganu. Everywhere I see many fans support LTDL. I'm very happy. I think for hometown for today, we try to make result how to see today. We see.
You are the Malaysian who won the most stages in LTDL, 3 wins. What do you hope for this time, today or the next days in the sprints?
I hope not only me, I think my teammate also Acik, he also faster now. And then we try together, see the planning. And then if I don't have the space, I think Acik have the space, he can go. And then we don't have too much pressure the race. I want just enjoy. I also want to see some people from Malaysia try to get some podium for the Langkawi.
So before you, it was Anwar Manan, the top sprinter from Malaysia. He passed it on to you. Now, are you passing the baton on to Acik?
Yeah, I hope some rider, Acik or some rider can try to win also the Langkawi. He can feeling how after he win to Langkawi. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, beres buah kecap putih. Oh, itu dia. Harif Saleh jangan main-main. Tapi tadi adik dah kongsikan dengan saya, 2010 dia top 5 daripada Kuala Terengganu ke Cukai. 2012 daripada pekan ke Cukai, finishing yang sama, menduduki tempat yang kedua Arif Saleh di belakang Andrea Guardini. World team rider memang padu. Arif Saleh hari ini insyaAllah akan berada di top 5 untuk pasukan beliau. Okey, baik. Semalam JC Polkadot Bubbles O2 bertukar milik daripada Ben Kemaman dirampas oleh Patrick Eddy, pelumba pasukan Picnic Post NL World Team. Okey, macam mana ni adik?
Okey,
hari ni kalau kita tengokkan Jambal Sain Bayar 15 poin bersama dengan Patrick Eddy ni terikat. Jadi saya rasa tak ada pelumba lain yang boleh cabar dah JC Polkadot. 2 ni saja. Lepas tu kat ujung-ujung tu 50 meter je ketinggian kategori 4 tu.
Baik, ya, sudah pasti hari ini Jambal Sambaya, pelumba daripada pasukan Burgos berpangkalan di Sepanyol. Saya rasa kemungkinan besar akan memberi saingan kepada Eddie Patrick kerana kedua-dua pelumba ini mereka mengumpul mata yang sama, iaitu 15 mata. Jadi hari ini cuma satu pendakian Cat 4 yang disajikan oleh kesemua pelumba. Sudah pasti Jambal Sambaya akan memberi saingan dan masa sama terus merampas jersey Polkadot tajaan Bubble O2 dipakai oleh Eddie Patrick untuk hari ini, Akbar. Jadi menarik untuk kita lihat nanti
antara dua pelumba ini. Okey, baik. Untuk pendahulu keseluruhan Matteo Malucelli, kalau dalam bola sepak kita ada MVP, Most Valuable Player. Tapi dalam ni kita MVR, Most Valuable Rider. The Big Kahuna, Matteo Malucelli. Okey, baik. Tadi adik dah sebut bahawa sebenarnya Aaron Gate ni nak mencabar jersey hijau PETRONAS selaku pendahulu keseluruhan. Dia rakan sepasukan Matteo Malucelli.
Betul.
Tapi hari ni ada 3 zon penjutan, sudah pasti Aaron Gate akan cuba menyapu bersih ketiga-tiganya. Dan apakah hari ini akan dia ketinggalan 16 saat di belakang Malucelli?
Okey, baik. Saya rasa kemungkinan besar, Akbar, di sprint pertama di kilometer ke-12 hari ini di Marang, Aaron Gate ataupun pasukan Astana mereka akan memastikan tiada kelompok pemecahan berlaku kerana di situ akan memberi laluan kepada Aaron Gate untuk mengambil mata dan juga time bonus 3 saat yang ditawarkan di situ.
Okay.
Dan kemungkinan besar saya rasa selepas daripada itu akan berlakunya pemecahan. Jadi macam mana pun hari ini Astana akan kontrol perlombaan kerana dia mempunyai leader jersey keseluruhan tajaan PETRONAS, iaitu jersey hijau. Dan sudah pasti hari ini Astana sekali lagi mereka ingin memastikan perlombaan hari ini habis dalam keadaan band sprint. Jadi memberi advantage kepada Matteo Malucelli untuk mengekalkan jersey hijau dan juga jersey orange tajaan KBS.
Okey, baik, terima kasih adik Husaini. Okey, baik. Sudah pasti anda semua yang sedang menyaksikan secara langsung tidak sabar untuk melihat apakah kesudahan peringkat yang keempat PETRONAS Letua di Langkawi 2025 yang bermula di Kuala Terengganu hingga ke Kemaman sejauh 141.5 km. Terus saja, ayo kami bawakan kepada anda secara langsung untuk peringkat yang keempat PETRONAS Letua di Langkawi 2025. Let's beat the heat. Selamat menonton.
We are going to race under the very, very nice weather, sunny weather of Terengganu. Motocaldo, is it? Motocaldo.
Or how Anwar Manan would say, Assalamualaikum. Let's check it out. All right, yeah, so today is stage 4 after a non-stop action almost. Stage 3, quite a hilly one. Everyone's chasing for the King of the Mountain points in the first half of the race, and the other half of the race, everyone was chasing for the sprint classification, either for time bonuses or points. But today is a completely different course for the riders and in a completely different state as well. So today the race will go from Kuala Kuala Terengganu, Ganu Kito, from Kuala Terengganu all the way to Kemaman, where we were in the town of where the Terengganu cycling team rider is, Harif Saleh.
Yeah. So Terengganu State is obviously filled with traditional, many good riders. It came out of the state of Terengganu. They have the rich history of riders, and you mentioned earlier Anwar Manan. And a local legend, and he's actually the first Malaysian rider to actually won a stage. The first stage winner of the Tour de Langkawi, and he also won the green jersey, the points jersey back then. Used to be green, the PETRONAS green jersey. Now is the KBS orange jersey. But Anwar Manan won the stage in the Tour de Langkawi, become the first Malaysian rider. And here's we see the flag off of the riders just starting the today's stage 141K. So shout out to Anwar Manan, who is at the race. He is part of the convoy, and also at the race, and doing some pre-race shows and interviews and commentating. So if you see Anwar out there, say hello and to this Malaysian legend.
Yeah, for sure. I think he definitely put Malaysian cycling into the map. He definitely put the state of Terengganu on the map. And if you were to find one state that is very, very friendly towards cyclists, you can't find any other state other than Terengganu. I mean, local people call it the land of cyclists.
You're right, absolutely correct. So obviously with the Terengganu cycling team, there's a huge support from the state government of Terengganu, and we really appreciate. They have been supporting him for the last almost 15 years, and the people in Terengganu obviously very proud of the teams. They rank they are the top team, top continental team in the world. Being a local, fairly like the population-wise is not huge, so fairly small state of Malaysia in terms of population, and they're producing some of the world best cyclists. And Anwar Manan, and since his victory, then Harif Saleh, we've seen in this race, he has won the stage 3 times. So it looked like we're having some new talent coming up from Terengganu with Rahman. And so we certainly hope today they will have an opportunity. The sprinters from Malaysia will certainly have an opportunity for on a fairly flat stage. Here we have we're taking a shot of a video of Vati Pransky, who is riding for the Terengganu cycling team. He's the current the white jersey holder next to an ex Terengganu cycling team rider Daniel Whitehouse. And shout out to an ex-rider. So Terengganu cycling team been in establishment for 14 years. So obviously a lot of cyclists have come, a lot of great cyclists that came through. And then they have done very well and contributed to the success of the team. And some of them have moved on to a bigger, better teams, and some of them moved to a different team. And so we obviously really appreciative of their contribution to make this great, successful team.
All right, so we're going to see what's the course for today's stage, the stage 4 of the 29th edition of PETRONAS Le Tour de Langkawi. So here he is. We are starting the race just now from Kuala Terengganu, the capital of the state of Terengganu, and 12.3 kilometers in, the first intermediate sprint in Marang. And the whole course will be pretty much a coaster ride until they reach the second intermediate sprint in Dungun at kilometer 66.7 before they head down to Paka at kilometer 87.4 for their third intermediate sprint. And then after that, a little bit of a lump in the course in Kijal for category 4 King of the Mountain, and then finishing it off in Kemaman. So a relatively flat stage today. We're expecting a bunch sprint at the end, a total of 141.5 kilometer. So what's the neutral zone for today, Danny? How long?
Today, I think we're looking at 7 kilometer. 7 kilometer, not too long. So the course we just previewed seems to be pretty standard, flat. Doesn't seem to be too difficult. However, they're riding along the side of the beach, ocean. So there can be crosswind. So they have it had happened before that when you will see probably likely a crosswind from the left side which is the ocean side. So rider may have to take notice. Looks like right now from the video, it is quite calm, but it's a rider getting out of the town, become more exposed to the element. The first 60 kilometer is very much exposed to the side of the ocean.
Yeah.
And then also with the KOM points, there is one KOM category 4 that is 126k, so approximately 15k to the finish. There's a KOM point. So we talk about the KOM jersey, which shifted from Ben Carmen of the St. George team to
Patrick
Eddy of the Picnic Post NL. And however, a Bogos BH rider from Mongolia, ex-Terengganu rider, Saimbaya, and he had the same points.
Yes.
So he collected 15 points yesterday. However, Patrick leads on the category 1. He crossed the category 1 climb first. So based on the countback, so Eddy takes the KOM jersey. So they're equal to the point. Now, it's possible they duke it out, they fight it out. If the peloton comes down together, they may fight out or attack and trying to get the extra two extra KOM points, so they can secure the KOM jersey for today before the next day, which is the real test for the mountain up to Fraser Hill. So it's still, it seems to be a very normal stage or non-exciting, but it can be actually very exciting.
Oh,
also,
yeah, for sure.
Also the finish, which we have talked about the finishing line. The finishing line is for the first few days, so it's pretty straightforward. Few corners only. But however, Izzat, if you want to share with our viewers, and we'll get a preview, but hopefully get a preview of the course. But you can, explain as a sprinter, you can explain how complicated today's finishing is going to be.
Oh yeah, I think we had a chat. I think we had a chat beforehand, and also we saw an interview between Jeff and also Albert Klein and Matteo Malucelli. I guess the top sprinters for today's stage. Judging from the profile, we see that today's stage has a little bit more technical aspects to it compared to the. I mean, yesterday was a little bit more technical than stage 2 and stage 1, but today is even more technical than yesterday. So what they're going to come down is they're going to come down into this road down. Let me just quickly zoom out. I think it's Jalan Penghiburan. So the Penghiburan, Jalan Penghiburan. So they will go straight down, and then as they're about to hit to the second last corner, they're going to have to do a bit of a chicane. Basically, from a right way of road, they're going to go and basically on the wrong way of road. They're going to have a bit of a chicane, right?
Yep.
And then from there, they're going to have the first right turn and then another right turn. So the first right turn is a little bit like a merging corner. So it's not super technical, but then it narrows down. So that becomes the first technical point. And then you keep going straight for the few hundred meters, and then another corner 400 meters before the finishing line. And that becomes a technical part, because you need to get either a very, very fast sprint line throughout there. So at this kind of course, you have to decide whether you want to stay on the left side of the road or on the right side of the road. So you want to make sure you're dominating one on the other side of the road, so that you can easily see where people are going to counterattack. Because if you stay in the middle, people can come and attack your train either from left or right. But if you decide to stay on the left, it's your right that all you have to worry about, right? So you got to take, you have to use all the roads, and the sprint trains. I think we have a lot of experienced trains here. The riders need to pull out where potentially lead-up train is going to cut them off. So I think, judging from how technical the course is, I think if we're gonna sort of pinpoint what would be the more of a favorite, I'm gonna have to go with Malucelli, because we know the way he sprints. Like, I think the comparison, for example, Arvid and also Matteo Malucelli, we know that Arvid is like, we know he's gonna win from like 100 meters away, right? He's like, go one straight line, he's just gonna go for it. Once he goes. But the thing with Malucelli, we always see that he comes out quite a little bit later. So just like you're looking at an 80 to 50 meter mark, where he's just gonna suddenly, he's there in the mix. He's good at finding his way around. Reminds me a lot of Peter Sagan. Yeah. So if I had to pick who's gonna be the favorite, definitely Malucelli for this kind of sprint.
Yeah, you left out Uno X, Christoph yesterday, who almost, I thought Christoph
was gonna go.
finally got the victory in 1999. So they did a fantastic job, and Brickler did a perfect lead out, and Christoph hit the front with 100 meters to go. And Marucciali waited, like you explained earlier, he waited, and then I think he waited 20 meters, and then he jumped with 80 meters to go, and just took the victory by a tire width, right?
Yeah.
So he was, obviously it's getting closer. I mean, for Uno X, for Christoph, from the video, I thought he had gotten the victory, but even it was funny. It was yesterday. Even at the finish line, Malucelli didn't know he took the victory. He actually congratulated Christoph as they crossed the finishing line. He probably thought that Christoph got the victory, and it was just, I was just thinking this morning that his nickname is Malu. In the interview, he was almost a little shy.
Yeah, Malu.
He was almost a little shy. Right? The Malu in the local dialect, Malay, Bahasa Malay, is shy.
That's right. You're right.
So he was almost a little shy, apologetic for taking the victory, and he keep on mentioning Christoph, a great champion. But however, when it comes to racing, he got to do, he's trying to win for his team. So, but he was a little bit of shy and unapologetic, but he was very happy with the victory. So, and then again, looking back at today's finish, I was just looking at the graph. We don't have the graph, but if you want to visualize the finishing of the last 2K, it literally looked like fishing hook, right?
Yes,
it is literally like bombing down. Then it takes a short bend before the 1 kilometer, and then 600 meters to go. There's the sharp right turn, then there's 400 meters sharp right turn, then straight line to the finish. So. Yeah, it's gonna be a fast one, and it's gonna be interesting to see who is gonna have the best lead out train, take the control, into the last 1 kilometer.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, we still have 141 kilometers to go.
100%. Absolutely right.
Before we get to the finish line. So now we're looking at Alva Decline. So, Alva Decline. Yesterday, he didn't feel great on the climb. He wasn't part of the, he didn't contest for the finishing sprint yesterday, but he said he had some stomach bug, didn't feel great on the climb. We saw him getting dropped, and this morning we were just checking. So even this guy's, technically he was dropped, he was not feeling great. We were just checking how fast they did the TT Wansa climb.
Okay.
So
yeah, we did a fact check a little bit.
Yeah. Just want to compare and compare to the previous edition as well. I mean, okay, we knew that the front guys. We looking at the Renbao, Sang Renbao, who got the best Southeast Asian ASEAN rider award yesterday. So he was in the front group. They did the climb in approximately 50 minutes. And 50 minutes, they did the TT Wansa climb, and I give you an idea, average speed of 27 kilometers an hour.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So, and then Harry Saleh, who was dropped from the leading group, he did in 56 minutes. 56 minutes, right?
Okay.
So not, just 6 minutes behind. And so that's a sprinter.
Okay.
Right? And I know Harry Saleh, great rider, great sprinter, but he's a man does not like the course when it tilts upward.
Yeah.
Right. So so he still did it in 6 minutes behind, and then in the end of the race, and he lost probably 25 minutes because obviously the front group was pushing the pace. They knew Alva Decline got dropped, so Astana, Uno X, even Poti, everybody came out to the front and pushed the pace really hard in order to make sure that the Alva Decline group doesn't get back in. So they did so Harry Saleh did in about 56 minutes, but then we were comparing to the course. Rider went through the same climb at 2:2018.
Oh wow,
we mentioned another Terengganu cycling team rider, ex-rider from Thailand, Puchong Sawudusin. So he did that climb. So he's a kind of climber. So he got over that in 58 minutes.
Oh wow, okay.
So he was in the front group.
Yeah.
He was not dropped. So you look at peloton was going over the same climb, 58 minutes versus 50 minutes. So the modern day, so that was 2018, and today is 7 years later. They went over that climb 8 minutes faster. And Harif Saleh, who does not like climbing, if he were to go back to 2018, and he's actually going to be the fastest guy going over the climb, right?
Yeah.
So that's to give you an idea how fast these guys are going.
Although we looked like how the pace was like, you know, we looked like Anton Kuzmin was soft pedaling. I think we're about to get to 0 kilometer. Yes.
Here's the official start of today's.
Here's the official start, and the race is on, and straight away from the gun, rider from Nusantara, BYC, follow along by rider from Burgos BH, and also another rider from 7-Eleven, looks like Edouard Bonfoy, a French rider for a Philippine team, straight from the gun, followed by Ben Carmen. Back to his St. George Continental Cycling Team jersey after he lost it yesterday, followed by another rider from Malaysia Pro Cycling, Zulfikri. And it looks like quite a number of people joining this first breakaway attempt.
Yeah, and look like the peloton hasn't committed to chase just yet. This is a pretty big group. Now, typically, you know, if you're on a breakaway, you would want a 7 to 8 rider. That makes a really good composition. So everybody sort of contribute to the break. And right now, it looks like all the smaller teams who has not won a stage are all jumping in. I see Poti, Visit Malda. So we're gonna have to wait and see if Team XDS Astana is gonna take control of the peloton and keep the gap in a controllable pace, controllable gap. And here's talk about Harif Saleh. He's sitting on the back, and he got his aero socks and the aero sleeves.
Oh yeah, aero sleeves.
Under sleeves. Yeah. So they so he is ready. Obviously, this is a better course for him, judging from the speed he's going over the climb. So he should be decent. I mean, decent form. He was not in the danger of getting eliminated. As we can see back on the aerial shot, there's a pretty significant gap of probably 100 meters, and to probably looking like a big group. But now it's like 9 to 10 riders on the front.
Yeah.
And.
It's like a few riders tried to chase the breakaway.
Yeah.
A few 3-4 riders, but looks like the peloton is actually really chasing this one.
Led by Uno X Mobility.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they obviously narrowly missed the victory, so they want to make sure to give their sprinter another chance, and because it was very close. So today may be the day for Christoph. And yeah, the whole group back together. The peloton already caught back to the breakaway. But you can see, this is sort of like a preview of what's going to happen, right? So you can see which teams are being active and want to make the situation, want to break up the peloton. Here goes the Bogos BH rider.
And then counter-attacking.
Is that Mario, or as soon as we get a visual on who that is, we will update you. But Bogos rider still active. The moment he got caught, then he's ready to launch the second attack.
Yep.
And I see Unibet Rockets rider are lurking and waiting. I see who else is gonna try to join the breakaway. And the Total Energy is that, no, the Chengdu.
Yeah, Ayman Rossi is there, joining the first 2 riders in front here.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, Ayman Rossi back to his national champion color. Not since his best Asian jersey is now on the shoulder of his teammate Vadim Prosky. So now he's back to the national jersey. I think he likes that too. I think that he probably prefer because he get the speed suit, so he can stay aero.
That's right.
Feel a little more confident, saving that 5 watts and getting the breakaway. And look like the peloton, it's still active. It's sort of looking at each other, waiting to see when XDS Astana is going to take control on the front. and a little
That's
bit of
Chengdu cycling team.
Chengdu cycling team.
Chengdu DYC.
DYC, yeah.
I'm Rosli from Terengganu cycling team, and a rider from Burgos Borpele BH. We get to get a visual of the number of the Burgos rider before we can relay the information of who that particular rider is, but look at that riding position from Ayman Rosli. Very aero in that position, shoulder shrug, making sure he is as small as possible, cutting through the wind. I mean, we all know that the when you look at the aerodynamics of a rider, it's a total system, rider and also the bike, and the 80% of the drag actually comes from the rider itself. So for those of you folks that are listening at home, these riders obviously they spend a lot of time on the bike, so it's a second nature for them to ride in that aero position. But yeah, if you wanna go fast, try and get yourself aero, and that can save you a lot of watts.
Yeah, and when you talk about the aero, so it's not just the aero bike, it's the aero apparel, the clothing, the socks, the gloves, and the helmet, the jersey itself. So it plays all big part, and even the same bicycle with a different setup.
Yeah.
As a rider now going over to a narrower handlebar.
Yes.
They're tilting the hoods in a little bit, almost a time trial position. I was checking on Instagram. There was some rider with huge stacking like a stem that's like. Instead of minus 17 degrees like what the people used to do, then they're doing like a plus 25 degrees pointing upward, and so the bar is literally in their face. It looked like a time trial bike, and with a super narrow handlebar. So, but however, UCI did the backtrack. So UCI set a rule for the minimum width and of the handlebar. But they did backtrack, and then now they're allowing a narrower handlebar, especially for riders, smaller rider, who obviously doesn't need a 40.
Yeah,
size
I mean,
of 40
they're doing
handlebar.
it not because of error. They're doing it because that is like from bike fit and biomechanics standpoint, that is the right handlebar for them to use.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's
so meanwhile, the front looked like Peloton has set up, letting these three riders go early. I mean, they literally. The attack started from the kilometer zero, but then after one counter attack, the initial attack was brought back, and then immediately three riders went off with probably just 5 kilometers into the race, and they are able to establish a fairly decent, I would say probably 30-second gap right now. I was looking at the peloton, it seems like sitting up, going across the road, and this is a good situation. This is a good situation for XDS because three riders, three very good riders, but it's still a long way, 140K to the finish with potentially some crosswind. So these three guys, the chances of them making all the way to the finish is fairly slim, and it's easier to control when there's just three guys in the break. Because obviously Team XDS Astana has like 6 riders in total, including the leader Malu, and so they have 5 riders. They just need to probably put in Antoine Kuzmin on the front
again.
And then,
I think he probably prefers that though. Some riders just prefer to sit in front and just sit on one pace.
Yeah.
For the whole day.
Right.
Yeah.
And then and also Alexander Vinokurov. He has been working pretty hard. Yesterday, I looked at his result. He was dropped. He probably did a lot of work on the climb. And initial part of the climb, and then before dropping off, and then Antoine took over the working duties of just and together with the Uno X rider as well, and so they did share a bit of work, but he did the bulk of work, and Malo Celli did comment that Antoine did a lot of work in order to help control the gap and driving the pace to prevent Alvin decline from catching back up. And so end of the day, Alvin was 15 minutes back behind the winner, and which is fine. We did a rough calculation of the time gap, and Alvin had a plenty margin to get to the finish line. So this could be interesting. Now, yesterday, the guys on the front were driving the pace, so 100, almost 200 kilometers. So Malucelli did mention that legs, maybe a little tired. And meanwhile, Alvin Decline could have just gone easy and let the 15 minutes go, so his leg could be fresh. And also, he had a good night's sleep. He did mention he had a good night's sleep, and so hopefully that he will be contesting the final sprint, and alongside with Alexander Kristoff, who is still looking for that victory in this year's Tour de Langkawi. So we certainly hope these three top sprinter of the race will get their chance to duke it out again at the finishing line, Kemaman.
Oh yeah, so there's basically remaining, including this one, 3 more sprint stages. So this stage, and then the stage from Shah Alam to Medini, and then the final stage finishing in Kuala Lumpur. So 3 more sprint stages. So so they Uno X got to make it happen for Alexander Kristoff. Meanwhile, the breakaway have extended from 25 seconds to a minute now, and the peloton is happily letting the breakaway go. 3 riders. We have Wojtek Kminik in Burgos BH. We have Johan Sobal from Chengdu DYC, and Ayman Rosli.
Okay.
Ayman Rosli from Terengganu cycling team, making the local government or local state proud.
Right.
All right. So, Danny, is it fair to say that the reason it is called Terengganu cycling team is that the state of Terengganu is, I guess, the quote-unquote title sponsor of the team?
Yeah. So the state of Terengganu is the title. It's the main sponsor of the team. They are certainly a big part of supporting getting the team established. So they're the main financial supporter. But there's also a lot of private companies that is within the Terengganu state and also outside Terengganu that they also so-called minor sponsor or co-sponsor. Terengganu Inc. is one of the. It's a private company I believe they do investment, private investment. So there's an investment company that they also supporting the teams, and I had the fortune of meeting Terengganu Inc. CEO, very nice man, Dato Pok, and so he's been very supportive. I don't know if he's going to get a chance to sit in the team car and follow the race today, but he have done that. Certainly a man that has supported the Terengganu cycling team. So both, so the state government is the main sponsor, but they are also private sponsors. In fact, so to make a successful team, Shimano has been to shout out to our friends in Shimano. So Polygon and Shimano, they have been a major supporter in the team as well. So Shimano have supported Terengganu cycling teams almost from since the initial time that we established the team. The Shimano Singapore has been super supportive of the team, providing the equipment, which is extremely, every cyclist know these are not cheap components.
For
if
sure.
you were to buy all that equipment, it certainly is going to cost a lot. And also, not only from the cost perspective, but these are the best equipment, best components in the market. So, because I think if you were to ask professional rider, if they had a choice, obviously we know when it comes to professional cycling, there are sponsorships. Sometimes you may have a preference on the specific product, but if your team is using a sponsor by a brand, then you have to use them. But I think if you ask a professional rider what's their preference, I think majority of it is going to say they prefer the Shimano Di2. That's by far the best performing components for the bikes.
Sure. No doubt about it. I mean, they've been around for over 100 years.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been over 100 years.
They've been around for 100 years.
And also, just the the improvement of the component, the DI2. Since it's, since when it started, I was watching a video and I was like literally 25 years, 25 or 15 years ago,
Yeah.
DI2 already started. But
Yeah, it
initially it was intended for like commuter bike.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't for racing bike. It was for commuter bike. And then the technologies trickled and evolve and become now the mainstream for racing.
Yeah.
And also gravel now. It's really big. And mountain bike as well. Mountain bike is also going wireless, and gravel is also going wireless. And I was just watching YouTube on gravel racing,
Yeah.
and they were saying that the rider saying definitely it's a DI2 is a must because you're doing 200 kilometer or 200 miles and
Yeah.
these ultra distance gravel racing. So by the time of you finishing 8-hour ride, getting into the 8-hour ride, your hands become so numb from the vibration. So having a DI2 shifter definitely makes the shifting a lot easier.
Yeah, for sure. We just got a visual. We've got 1 kilometer from the first sprint of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not far. The first sprint of the day, which is in, let's say, in Marang.
Marang, yeah. So the
Marang.
first intermediate come very quickly.
Oh yes.
And let's see if the 3 riders. I see a shake of leg by Ayman Rosley.
Yeah.
And so he is getting ready to sprint.
Yes. So obviously he's in contention still for the best Asian classification.
Yeah.
So he would definitely want to get as much points around here.
Yeah.
So you can see. So one of the iconic thing about Terengganu, basically, it is a state by the beach, and it's one of the most beautiful beach you can get in this region. When I say region, it is Southeast Asia. Nice blue beach, and if we've got some drone shots from the live feed, we can see that the beaches are very blue, are very well taken care of, and the people in Terengganu took a lot of pride in their beach. And as we're talking about beach, they are not far off from the first intermediate sprint. Ayman Rosli goes far off on the left side of the road, making sure he got a very big gap between the other 2 riders to score maximum points. 100 meters to go, and it is Ayman Rosli scoring the maximum time bonus. Congratulations, Ayman Rosli, in the home ground. Followed by Wojtek Kaminek from Bogos Wapele BH, and last but not least, rider from Chengdu DYC cycling team, Johan Sobal.
Yep, there you go. Ayman Rosley took that first intermediate sprint fairly easily. He had time to look back, and meanwhile we're getting a shot of the beautiful blue ocean with white sand. And so if you are a beach fan, so do come to visit Terengganu.
Yeah.
And you can get some tan and swim in the beautiful ocean, and also see sea turtle. So I think sea turtle is a big thing, big thing in Terengganu.
For sure.
That's these they go onto the beaches, and I think in Kemaman that's where they lay their eggs.
Yeah.
And beautiful creature, majestic, and I think they're one of the most ancient creatures in the history of. So it is very nice to see. We talk about the not only the scenic beauty, beautiful scenic view of Malaysia, but also the wildlife diversity. We saw elephant, signs for the elephant. We didn't see the elephant, unfortunately. And then, but there are tigers.
The pace would have gone up if they saw the elephant.
Yeah, it could be going up, or if the elephant is chasing you, or if the elephant is in front of you, then it would be the other different story. So, but in any case, but they are wild elephant, wild animal, and Malaysia does a very good job preserving them, and it's really important. I'm an animal lover. So it's very important to preserve the nature and also the wild animals. So I mean, we all know there's a lot of wild animal trade. People, killing these wild animals for they claim for medical reasons. So I mean, believe me, my brother's a doctor. And he can tell you all these are total BS. Yeah. And so saving our environment and taking care of our animal is absolutely critical for this world. So shout out again to Terengganu State for keeping the keeping the environment beautiful and keeping the wildlife diversity.
Oh yeah, and then, yeah, like we have a shot again of the beautiful beach of Terengganu. It's absolutely beautiful. You know, I think you just been there quite recently. You know, I was there last year for one of the I guess local domestic rate tour of Gate. Last year they had here, also supported by the local state government. So yeah, it's like it's been there. You know, the beach is beautiful. The people are beautiful. They're very accommodating to cyclists. Like they treat cyclists as like another road user, you know, instead of treating a cyclist as a nuisance.
So
I
know you were part of the podcast and involved with our ex-sports minister KJ. A man I met and have high respect for him, and he's very much he does not involve politics right now. But he's still he's a cyclist himself.
Yes, he is.
And you guys had a podcast discussion about the road rage and so forth, and about how to share the road with cyclists. Because I know many out there, they have different views of cyclists, and but however, you know, so I think there's both point of views, and you guys had a good discussion about it. So we'd love to hear the podcast on that.
Yeah. So and then also I think we had a conversation. I was lucky enough to have a conversation with one of the Terengganu Inc. I think it's the CEO, of Terengganu Inc. And then the reason why they are so supportive of the like sports development. I mean, obviously they are supporting cycling, they're supporting motorsports, they're supporting I think a few other sports in Terengganu, and really helping this, like, I guess not so fortunate people that doesn't have, I guess, the financial support to go big. They mentioned something, you know, about Terengganu that sort of like, you know, shed light in a very different perspective. Obviously, you know, Terengganu, Malaysia. So we're going to see what's the official result of the first intermediate sprint before I continue the story. But yeah, so the conversation was like the reason they wanted the name Terengganu in the team is like obviously for them to get the satisfaction of, for example, you know, the international broadcasting mentioned the name of Terengganu, you know, make people familiar of the name of Terengganu. So before I continue this story, so here's the first intermediate sprint point won by Ayman Rosli. It was quite a convincing one. He launched quite an extensive attack towards the left, getting a good gap between himself and the other two riders, specifically Wojtek Kminik. Obviously, Bogus Bopele BH are more interested in the general classification, whereas Johan Sobal was pretty much just happy to tag along with the other two riders. Maximum time bonus for Ayman Rosli. All right, so yeah, that conversation was quite interesting because number one, he just wants people to know about Terengganu, and also I think this was pretty interesting because I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this in this live, but I'm going to say it anyway. But he said because like when you look at the history of Terengganu and culturally and also from a religious standpoint, they are very, I guess in Malaysia they're quite very strong. They have very strong Islamic values and culture, and they want to sort of like you know, if they want to sort of like correct people's stereotype of what a Muslim country is or a Muslim people is. And I think people, if they come to the state of Terengganu, if they have whatever bad perception about Islam or Muslim or whatever, so if you come to the state of Terengganu, I believe your perception of this group of people will change. Yeah, just like how they treat people from a day-to-day basis, or even how they treat, like when you're riding on the road, like how they treat you on the road. So it just tells a lot about, you know, the people, the local people values, where majority of them are like Muslims and really celebrating the Islamic culture.
Well, that's a good point. So take for example, we said earlier, I mean, I'm involved with the Terengganu cycling team. I'm Chinese. I'm not. And we also have we have 6 international riders who are not Muslim. Who not does not have an Islamic religion, and also in the Terengganu cycling team we also have Ki, who's currently he's racing under the national team. And he's also a local Terengganu Chinese born. So I mean, it's I've been to Terengganu so many times. I never felt there was any issues. So it's a very nice coexistence and very well respected as well. So I mean, I've been working with the team for a very long time, and I felt very welcome and respected. And I know also shout out to one of our staff, Sharon, who does all the travel arrangement. And she's Chinese, local Malaysian Chinese. Was born in Terengganu. I think he was born in Terengganu, but living in Kuala Lumpur. So very much we feel very much welcome as a part of the family. And shout out to the team management, Chetin, Nasruddin, and Cheku. They always welcome me and with open arm. And also big shout out to our executive director of the Terengganu cycling team, Dato Farouk, who has been it's just a man I deeply respect, and someone who has done a lot for the community of the Terengganu. And he is, if you talk things with him, and it's just very open-minded and very well educated. Someone that again I deeply respect. Here's back to the race. The gap is 2 minutes. And we see Chengdu rider in the front. I think he's just trying to keep the pace at a 2-minute gap, and in order for his teammate to take up as many intermediate points, intermediate bonus as possible. And the team Astana, XDS Astana, is letting him doing the part of the rotation, although I'm not sure why, but that's not their traditional tactic. But probably XDS, Astana is happy with the pace that he's going. As long as you're not disturbing, you're not slamming on the brake and causing a massive chaos in the peloton, then that's fine. Give me a breather and I'll take over. So yeah, it's interesting, but the three trios are working very well together. And they are keeping the pace, and I think they're gonna be letting 2 minutes gap. And here we have the team car. This should be the second team car and of the Terengganu cycling team. Here's the DS Nai. And the shout out. He has been with the team. He's capable of both doing as a mechanic and a DS.
I mean you see that quite common, right? From experienced mechanic and then sort of like become a DS as well, right? Like I see as well, like I know. For human powered health.
Because Naeed, I remember. I'm driving the team car. I was a DS, and Naeed was on the back seat. He read the race perfectly. I mean, he was the one telling me what's happening. I'm busy feeding the riders and listen to the race radio. And he was sitting on the back seat and he was telling me what's happening in the race. And he had a very good eye. He see who is getting dropped, who is on the front. I said, you should be a DS. So I'm happy that he stepped up, and then especially sometimes they go to the race and when they don't have enough mechanic help, or he needs, so he can do like double job. So fantastic, and then really lovely guy. So shout out to Nai. So he's doing the DS. Now we are back in the Uno X car, and they are providing the nutrition. So they obviously allow the feeding fairly early in today's stage. We just crossed over 20 kilometers, so the bar is open for the rider to come all back and getting some waters and nutrition, because it is a hot day. So we stayed first 2 days was kind of raining, and yesterday was hot and warm, and today no question it's another hot and sunny day. As you can see, the sun is beating on the rider's shoulder.
So this is rider from the back of the race. This is Polti, Visit Malta, rider number 86, which is Manuel Peñalve,
Oh, there you
team
go.
sprinter. Just hanging
Team
around. We see like sprinters just like to hang around at the back, especially when the course is not too technical. It's just a pretty much, I mean, today is pretty much a straight road, almost all straight road. You know, you can just sit at the back. You know, just putting slightly a bigger gearing and then just grind it through. You know, saving the legs a little bit while maintaining with the peloton. It's crucial. Like these riders know how to rest while pedaling the bike. Not unlike a lot of us, like pedaling a bike is not resting, but these guys have learned the art of, just resting while you are pedaling the bike.
He should be one of the contenders also later for today's stage. A very good sprinter, and he obviously he got it. He was good. He was always he was fourth, I believe. So he's getting close to the victory, and we certainly hope that he get in a shot today. It would be nice that we have different winners in each stage. Although Marcelli certainly is the favorite to win today's stage. He's looking really good, and we think the course suits him really well with his style of racing. He handles the bike really well, but of course it is a tricky finish, so Uno X probably have the strongest lead out team, and they may decide to take control of the finishing, and if they are on the front with 400 meters to go in front of if they have two lead out rider before Christoph into the last corner, 400 meters to the finish, there's a very good chance Christoph could finish with his 99th career victory.
Oh yes, for sure.
So we anxiously await the finish. But although these three riders are certainly has a chance to get to the finish, then sometimes peloton was expecting a bunch finish. So maybe the three riders are able to make to the finish. That would certainly make an exciting stage if the three riders are able to break away and stay away till the end in Kemaman.
Oh yeah, for sure. So yeah, I mean, you mentioned it briefly earlier at the start of the stage, like in terms of the lead out. Uno X definitely had the best one. They pretty much almost nailed the sprint train yesterday, right? But obviously Malucelli was the smarter sprinter. He was he held on into the lead out a little bit longer compared to Christoph, and then I think that could be the only reason why Christoph lost, right? So I think if they could sort of repeat the same thing that they did yesterday. Obviously today is not as hard as yesterday's stage. They could have a very, very likely good chance. I think in terms of lead out, we have two. In terms of lead out, I think we can safely say that Tudor and also Uno X have the best ones compared to XDS.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be interesting to see the fight at the last final kilometer when the race and the course becomes a little bit more technical. So yeah, but before that, we still got 118.6 kilometers to go. They've extended the gap with 1 minute. I think it's still the same, about 2 minutes, roughly 2 minutes gap between these three riders. They are rotating well together, and all of them pretty much on all the aero gear that they can have, considering it's a straight road, no elevation. On a flat road, aero is still king. Everyone's on aero socks, everyone's riding aero, everyone's on deep section wheels. Yeah, just cruising along at 46 kilometers per hour, like no one's business.
Yeah, they make it look easy, doesn't it?
Yeah, they do. I think at this particular speed, they're probably just cruising tempo, I suppose, the hardest, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like otherwise, the breakaway won't be a sustainable thing. I rode this morning just to see how my fitness is. I went and did some 1 minute efforts.
Okay.
At the moment, my 1 minute efforts is about 300 and something watts.
Really?
330 watts. I just want to see how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think we were talking about yesterday. Anton Kuzmin in front probably just cruising at 300 watts. His heart rate probably 150 beats per minute. But my 300 watts for 1 minute, and my heart rate was 170 beats per minute.
Whoa. Okay.
So that just tells you a little bit like how fit these guys are. In comparison to us normal, I guess, everyday weekend warrior, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just takes it's just a different level. These guys are just